Two major political events took place yesterday in UDA party. But most Kenyans did not take note of those two events. And in my view, those two events will determine whether William Ruto is going to become the next president of the Republic of Kenya or not. In the first event, Johnson Sakaja, who is the party's gubernatorial candidate for Nairobi, unveiled Njoroge Muchiri as his running mate. The choice of Njoroge Muchiri will determine whether the Kikuyu nation in Nairobi will vote for Sakaja or whether they'll vote for one of their own, Polycarp Igathe, who is running on a Jubilee ticket. So that's significant because the way the Kikuyu nation in Nairobi will vote will determine whether Ruto is going to become the next president of the Republic of Kenya. So that was the first event. In the second event, William Samoei Arap Ruto held a meeting with the three potential running mate candidates from the larger Mount Kenya region in Karen. Those who attended that meeting were Ruto himself, there was Rigathi Gachagua, there was Professor Kithure Kindiki, and then there was Justin Muturi. Also present was the Elgeyo Marakwet Senator, Kipchumba Murkomen. And in my view, the presence of Kipchumba Murkomen in that meeting was simple: to look at any legal implications and whether, if for example one of them were to pull out, whether there was need to put it in writing. So that was what he was looking at. But based on my own critical analysis, I came to the conclusion that William Ruto has now narrowed down his choice of the running mate to two individuals, Professor Kithure Kindiki and Justin Muturi, and that the deputy president has finally dropped Rigathi Gachagua. And I want to explain to you guys why Rigathi Gachagua has been dropped. And the question which we must ask ourselves, how did Rigathi Gachagua emerge to be one of the potential running mates to the deputy president? Because initially, there was the talk of Kirinyaga women representative, Anne Waiguru. There was the name of Moses Kuria being mentioned. There was the name of Mwangi Kiunjuri being mentioned. Then from nowhere, Rigathi Gachagua just emerged. So how did Rigathi Gachagua emerge? Rigathi Gachagua emerged because, number one, he's deep-pocketed. He has the money. He was able to organize the UDA brigades in the larger Mount Kenya region, and they started listening to him. He would organize events. While the rest were waiting for the DP to organize events, Rigathi Gachagua decided to organize most of the events. Number two, he's eloquent. There's a way Rigathi Gachagua is able to communicate with the Kikuyu nation. And because of that, he became a darling of the Kikuyu nation. And that's the kind of a person William Ruto was looking for. And the fact that Rigathi Gachagua was also a personal assistant to President Uhuru Kenyatta meant that there are certain secrets he knew about the president. And therefore, he became natural choice for the DP. So Rigathi Gachagua worked so hard, and before Kenyans knew, he emerged as a potential running mate. But based on yesterday's meeting, I tend to think that Rigathi Gachagua has now been dropped. So in this video, I want us to look at why the deputy president has now settled on those two individuals, Professor Kithure Kindiki and Justin Muturi. And if you ask me, finally, I think the DP will settle on Professor Kithure Kindiki for several other reasons. Before we go into all those details, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and also share. Now, let us, before we look at the other details, I tend to think that William Ruto has now narrowed down his choice to two people, Professor Kithure Kindiki and Justin Muturi. Remember, IBC extended the deadline to, I think, 16th. To to some few days, because the deadline was supposed to be today or tomorrow. He has been forced to extend that. Justin Muturi is a close ally of the president, was a close ally of the president. He's the Speaker of the National Assembly. He has a bit of political experience, having been the Speaker of the National Assembly now for 2 terms. He had been elected as a member of parliament before for Chicago constituency. So he has that political experience. He was part of a team which campaigned tirelessly for President Uhuru Kenyatta, drafted his strategy. He comes from Mount Kenya East, which is a good block for the deputy president. Then there is Professor Kithure Kindiki. Professor Kithure Kindiki is a gentleman, in my view. He was loyal to President Uhuru Kenyatta. He represented the president during his ICC cases. When he became a senator for Tharaka Nithi, when Kindiki became senator for Tharaka Nithi, he was made the Senate Majority Leader. And when Jubilee won again, I don't know what happened, but William Ruto decided to replace him with Kipchumba Murkomen. Maybe he was being tested, his loyalty, but he stuck with the deputy president up to this stage. So he's one of the guys whose name is featuring prominently, and therefore the 2 guys have been shortlisted. So the question is why? Why do you think the deputy president has now dropped Professor Kithure Kindiki? Has now dropped Rigathi Gachagua and opted for either Professor Kithure Kindiki or Rigathi Gachagua, or Justin Muturi? In my view, it's because of the following. Number 1, which is going to be a pointer, is the choice of the Nairobi running mate. When Sakaja unveiled that candidate, most people did not read the politics, the inside politics of that move. For Sakaja to win in Nairobi, he must get the support of the Kikuyu nation. And for him to get the support of the Kikuyu nation, he must appease the Kikuyu nation. And for him to appease the Kikuyu nation, he must make the Kikuyu nation comfortable that his team is actually pro-Kikuyu. So they've sacrificed every other thing, including sacrificing Musalia Mudavadi. So Sakaja is the gubernatorial candidate there. Then the Senate candidate is Margaret Wanjiru, who is a Kikuyu. Then the running mate is now Mushiri, who is a Kikuyu. The idea behind that is the Kikuyu factor. So because William Ruto has rewarded the Kikuyu nation, he needed their support. That's enough. He can go to the Kikuyu nation and tell them that I've given you the senator for Nairobi, I've given you the running mate for Nairobi. Then he's going now, when you now talk of the larger Mount Kenya region, he's now going for Mount Kenya East. And he's going to give them a running mate. And that's where Rigathi Gachagua is being knocked out. Because Rigathi Gachagua is a Kikuyu from Nyeri. So the deputy president is going for Muturi, which is Mbere and Embu, or is going to go for Kindiki, Tharaka Nithi, and Meru, in my view. So if you ask me, that's the politics behind it. So it now gives Ruto the opportunity to appoint an Kikuyu, but from the larger Mount Kenya region. And the Kikuyu nation, because most of them are already with Ruto, they'll easily embrace that candidate. And also remember the fact that President Uhuru Kenyatta is making serious inroads in the Kikuyu nation. So I think what the DP is trying to do is now trying to go outside there to Mount Kenya East. So which takes us to the second point. Because remember, for Sakaja to win, he needs the Kikuyus, full support, and the lawyers. For Rigathi to win, he's already a Kikuyu. So for Ruto, that was used to cancel that. So Rigathi, being a Kikuyu, is expected to attract the Kikuyu support. Then Ruto was expected, in my view, if I were Ruto, I would have named someone, let's say, from another tribe, preferably the Kambas. But he opted for Kikuyu. So Rigathi has a Kamba. So Kamba and Kikuyu votes, just enough. So he only needs the duos which will vote for him and a bit of the lawyers who are ODM diehards. And Rigathi will win. So the deputy president was trying to appease the Kikuyu nation with the choice of Nairobi. So he has already traded Nairobi. The Kikuyus have already been traded in Nairobi, which means the other tribes, sub-tribes in Mount Kenya are remaining, which takes us to the second point, which is Mount Kenya East. For William Ruto to become the next president of the Republic of Kenya, he must garner enough support from the mountain. Enough of it. Talk of Meru, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, the Mberes, and the Kikuyu. He must get. So the Kikuyu is already with him. And the president is chewing some of those support, which means he must go to East. And that's what he's doing. Now he's telling the East, because the East have always complained that they've always supported their Kikuyu brothers. And it's time now for the Kikuyu brothers to also support them. And that's where I'm seeing the deputy president is heading to. He wants to give the Mount Kenya East a running mate. Then the Mount Kenya East will now appeal to their brothers from the Kikuyu nation that we've always supported you. We've always stood with you. It's now your time to support us. So that's, in my view, is the second thing. Number 3 is the credibility. If you look at the credibility of Rigathi Gachagua and the credibility of either Professor Kithure Kindiki or Justin Muturi, then you automatically knock out Rigathi Gachagua. Because Rigathi Gachagua has scandals after scandals. His past of a DC, being a former DC, is a baggage which the DP might not want to deal with. Having served Moi, Ruto having served Moi. So they needed a bit of a ticket which could pass the credibility test. And I think that ticket lies either with Professor Kithure Kindiki or Justin Muturi. And lastly, if you look at it also critically, you'll realize that Rigathi Gachagua, of all these two individuals, is the one who lacks political experience. Although he has served as a DO, he served his brother when he was sick as the governor for Nyeri. What Rigathi Gachagua was involved in was actually business and looting of the county. Lack of political experience. Professor Kithure Kindiki has been elected twice as the senator. He served as the majority leader, so he has that experience. What about Muturi? Has the experience. So I think based on those factors, in my view, if you ask me, the deputy president yesterday knocked out Rigathi Gachagua and is now settling either on Professor Kithure Kindiki and Justin Muturi. In my next video, after a few days, I'll be able to tell you clearly between Muturi and Kindiki who will be William Ruto's running mate. But for now, my bet is on Professor Kithure Kindiki. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.